Hello, everyone. This is another episode of SportsTrap. I'm Timothy McKain. This is Derrick Hall. So, Derrick, we got a few sports topics we're going to dive in today. But first,
I want to, brother. Start out with the pleasantries.
Yeah, man. It was a good weekend, man. Just working. You know what I mean? Just watching some of the playoffs, especially seeing what Damian Lillard's been doing, man. He's been killing it, man.
They've been doing this for a while now. It's not surprising to people that have been watching.
It.
Yeah.
Well, no, I get that, but it's like to hit that game winner like that over a Paul George, 37 feet from the field, man. That was just it was epic.
Right.
You don't see stuff like that every day.
Right.
You know what I mean? So of course game time. We've seen that he did something like that back in 2014.
Right.
But for him to do it when Russell Westbrook, he's a triple-double king, and, you know, people have been saying he is. Well, here's my thing about Russell Westbrook. In my opinion, I look at Russell and I say, hey, look, the guy's never going to win a championship.
So you're going to pad the stats.
He's going to pad the stats because people are going to always remember Russell Westbrook by his numbers.
So pre-Durant.
Pre-Durant and then after Durant. You know what I'm saying?
Before after KD.
Look at. I think a really good comparison is Wilt Chamberlain. Now, Wilt Chamberlain, he did win a couple championships, but he was, and Wilt Chamberlain was one of the guys who I respect, and I love sports history. I love, watching some of his highlights. But Wilt was, in my opinion, a stat stuffer. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was that guy who
you say
anybody
that,
would talk about.
You always bring up Wilt Chamberlain in the type of debate to defend him.
He's one of the greatest players ever.
You can't say he's the greatest player ever and a stat stuffer.
I believe he can be both. Because and here's my reasoning why. He played in an era where the Celtics were winning everything. He had no shot. The only shot he had was when he was with the Warriors 1 year and then with the Lakers. Those are the only years that he ever really was doing anything with them. And so I believe that he was better than all those guys in the Celtics teams, but they were just more Hall of Famers on their sides. A la Russell Westbrook, not saying he's as good as Steph Curry or Damian Lillard or any of these guys, but I think that when we look at Russell, we'll say, hey, look, there was a guy who did incredible things. We've never seen a guy who had 3 straight triple-double seasons. It's never been done.
Yep.
We'll talk about that for the rest of our lives.
We're definitely going to say, these 3 straight seasons of triple-doubles have been amazing to watch. It's going to break the triple-double record if we haven't already. But it's like, does that equate to wins? It's like, are we just on wins and losses? Because a lot of those, like, you can easily get a triple-double in NBA, and if I want to, but I feel like LeBron could have a triple-double too if he wanted to, but I don't think LeBron wants to. I think Russell wants to average a triple-double, so he goes out there like, I think I need to get a triple-double today, night.
Right.
So I think if he wanted to do that, he can, but it don't really affect the winning. Like, Russell Westbrook needs to win a championship to go down as one of the 50 greatest players.
I don't think. Here's my thing with it. I'm not sure if he'll ever really go down as like a top 50 greatest player.
You don't think so?
Only because I feel like you always have to respect the people who've done it before and the time being that they've done it.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't really say that. I will say this. During this era, he was one of the best. During this era, he was one of the. If we could talk about some of the top point guards, Russell Westbrook's got to be top 10.
So
of the past 10, 15 years.
Last 10, 15 years?
Last
10 years?
10 years, he's the top 10, 15 point guards in this era.
If it was for Derrick Rose getting hurt.
That's true.
We'll be talking about Derrick Rose, not Russell Westbrook.
Here's my thing with that. I believed, and this is my personal opinion, Derrick Rose was better than Russell Westbrook, okay?
Right.
But I think the difference was that Russell has a motor and a belief in the game that kind of outweighed Derrick's. And what I mean by that is Derrick took time off. There was a time in Derrick's career where he was like, this ain't for me.
Because
he wasn't the same player. But Russell had injuries, and he came back.
You're not going to be the same player when you tore your ACL in the fourth quarter of a playoff game.
Russell tore his ACL.
Listen. It's not the same when you tore in the ACL in the fourth quarter of a playoff game. You never want to see the rest of the
Yeah.
They're playing Philadelphia, and you shouldn't have been in the game. Then came back the next year to the other ACL. Then came back again to the other ACL again.
Okay.
So it's like, yo, you're not gonna be mentally. I'm thinking like, yo, every time I get on the court, I'm gonna get hurt. Like, how can I change that narrative about myself? So of course you got those low periods in Derrick Rose's career, like, yo, I can't do this anymore. So it took him a while to reinvent himself.
Yeah.
So in Minnesota, he reinvented himself as a six-man.
He did, and he had that 50-point game that was incredible. I'm not gonna lie to you. I grew up loving Derrick Rose's game. I mean, that's the type of game that you can totally identify with. You know what I'm saying? It's the street ball type. You play basketball that way. But as we saw the other day, that kind of game has phased out. You know what I'm saying? People are more about shooters. Like, people are more about shooting. People are shooting half-court shots because of Steph Curry. They're not going to the hole like they used to, and they're not dunking it. Like, Damian Lillard can barely dunk.
We can dunk.
He can dunk.
Damian Lillard can probably one of maybe like 10 players that can win a 3-point contest and a dunk contest.
You think he can win a dunk contest? Yeah. I don't know, man. I think Giannis would take him, bro. Word, you don't think Giannis would take him, bro? Giannis is a freak of nature, man.
Giannis is a freak of nature. That free throw line dunk was amazing, but
I mean, and then you see that move that he had on Andre Drummond, bro.
But it's hard for a big man. Just talking dunk contest. Getting sidetracked a little bit. It's hard for a big man to win a dunk contest.
You think so?
Yeah, because you're tall, and you can do a great dunk.
Yeah.
But it just looks better when the smaller guy does it. It looks like the smaller guy is getting higher.
Right. I'll give you 3 case scenarios with 3 big men, and 2 of them won the dunk contest. And the third one should have won it. Okay. Dwight Howard, Blake Griffin, and Aaron Gordon. All big.
Gordon, Blake Griffin not really like big men.
They're all, you know Dwight Howard. All of them are about the same size.
Blake like 6'9", 6'8".
Right, and Dwight Howard's like 6'10". He's 6'10", 6'11". Like, he's not that much. It's not like he's like, you know what I mean? He's
I won't consider.
You know what I mean?
I won't consider Blake and Aaron like big men though, like smallish.
I feel you, man, but they're about that 6'9", 6'10". Yeah. But Dwight Howard's like that same type.
Center,
You know what I mean? So that like they're almost about the same size. You know what I mean? So like I look at them and I say, big man can dunk. I just feel like Giannis, the way that he moves on the court, he could do something. I don't think he would do it. Because you don't see. You know what? I think
he did dunk contest one time before.
Not in NBA. I think honestly, and I was reading a report about this. Do you even think that NBA stars even have to do dunk contests? Because before, back in the day, you could do dunk contests and it would raise your level. Whereas in today, you need social media. You have commercials. You have shooting. Like, why do you need to? And you don't see the same stars doing dunk contests. We had a Diallo one last year.
It's only been like that because the debate's always been like, when you're a star player, when you're coming out the Pittsburgh draft as a rookie, you compete in a dunk contest. And it started when LeBron didn't do it. So it's always like, this is a LeBron era. If LeBron didn't want to do anything, you know. So it is based on because it's LeBron era. Like,
did Kobe ever do it though?
Kobe won one.
Kobe won. Are you sure?
Yeah.
Kobe won a dunk contest.
Yeah.
For real, I'm about to look that up. Kobe Bryant won a dunk. What year did he win?
What's that? 97. Kobe won one.
Cause I know. Okay, the one. Okay, cause nobody talks about his dunk contest ever. Kobe. They don't ever talk about his dunk contest.
They talk about his Vince Carter.
They talk about Vince Carter's dunk contest. They talk about Spud Webb's,
the
Jordans.
Because Kobe won it, but he didn't battle nobody. Like, you know what I mean? He just won it because he was dominant in a dunk contest.
Word.
Yeah.
I never knew that. He told me something I did not know. Dunk contest. Let me see.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, man. Okay, you're right. He won in 1997.
Yeah.
Wow. What did he? Let's say. Wow. He says Chicago's Michael Jordan. Okay. Interesting, man. You told me something I did not know.
Right. Yeah. So what you most excited to see about the second round of playoffs?
Honestly, I just want to see.
What's gonna be the best series? In the East right now. The West not really you kind of can predict the West, but not for sure.
Not for sure. I want to see the Bucks and the Celtics.
Okay.
That's gonna be an interesting series because it's like
Think it's going 7 games?
I think it's gonna go 6.
Who win?
I say the Bucks. I'll tell you the reason why the Bucks win is because I believe that as much as the Celtics they play well against Indiana. Okay, let's just be honest about it. Indiana didn't have any of their star. They didn't have their star player. They did not have Victor Oladipo. They didn't have him. You know what I'm saying? And Indiana wasn't, even though they got swept. They had the brooms handed to them, but they play hard. Every game they could have. The only reason why Indiana did not make it a series is because they didn't have a closer. They had good enough talent to make it to three quarters. Once that fourth quarter, 3.5 quarters. Once that fourth quarter hit, Kyrie time, who can match. There's very few people in this league who can match Kyrie's playoff intensity in the fourth quarter.
Right.
Very few.
Well, you're right. They definitely needed Oladipo.
Yes.
Too, but in the first round. But that series is going to be legit 7 games. I haven't decided who's going to win quite yet.
I say Bucks because of Giannis.
Yeah, Giannis he's going to be the best player on the court. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, because Kyrie, if he was 3 inches taller, bro.
It's not about what I think. Kyrie mental state. If Kyrie's locked in 48 minutes, and he might be the best player on the court.
He might be.
But Kyrie, I feel like Kyrie doesn't always be locked in.
Because you think that his mind is somewhere else. Like he's thinking about, hey, what's my next team going to be? Am I going to be a New York Knick? You know what I mean? Am I going back to Los Angeles with LeBron?
He ain't playing with LeBron. He ain't playing with LeBron.
No, I doubt it. I doubt it, too, because he wants to be his own man.
Well, it's not playing with LeBron because LeBron is too ball dominant. So he doesn't want to deal with that anymore.
I feel you. Well, has it worked out? Well, here's the thing, though. Kyrie's got to understand that if he's a point guard, he's got to be able to distribute that ball. And he's done well at times. He's done well at times with the Celtics, but I'll tell you what, Jason Tatum definitely had a better year last year when Kyrie was injured than when he had when Kyrie was there.
What Kyrie said was, Jason Tatum played with house money last year.
Okay.
He's out there playing basketball. I'm a rookie.
Very true.
I don't got nothing to worry about. If I win, we win. I win.
No pressure.
No pressure. Kyrie, our star player's not here.
That's a good point.
So we're just going to put that ball.
So now the pressure's on them.
And this pressure's on them, expectations.
Gotta win.
It's like, yo, you did this last year.
Yeah.
I need that plus 100 times more. Every possession. Like, you didn't get the ball, but play defense.
Yeah.
Go rebound.
So you think that the pressure has affected Tatum? That's the reason why he has.
I don't say pressure.
Okay.
I think early expectation of the Celtics kind of weighed on those young players like Tatum and Brown.
Yeah.
And Coach Brad Stevens having to understand the rotation. Like, you go about 10 deep.
Right.
That's a good and bad thing.
Yeah.
You go 10 deep, you get everybody warmed up, but like nobody's getting going.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've been out here for 10 minutes, and every time I'm out here, I feel like you're pulling me out.
Right.
So I can't get the Florida game. It's hard to catch a Florida game when
I feel it.
People.
I would say this. One of the reasons why I picked the Bucks isn't just because of Giannis. It's because of Chris Middleton, because of Eric Bledsoe. I just feel like they have stronger stars. And the Celtics, they got good players. They got Gordon Hayward. You know what I'm saying? They got Terry Rozier. They got Jason Tatum. But for me, I just feel like the Bucks have a collection of talent that you just cannot overlook. They've got a legitimate second star to Giannis. Mm-hmm. And they got a third star who was a baller in Kentucky and was a baller, in Phoenix. And he's doing well in now. If his temper, he's gotten thrown out of some games or whatever. But I'm telling you, man, to me, they're a team that could make it all the way to the finals. I believe it's going to be the Bucks versus the Warriors in the finals.
I can see that happening because Giannis has been the most dominant player this season.
Yeah.
Chris Middleton has been consistent.
That's right. Bledsoe
is
Malcolm Brogdon.
He's still hurt. He's going to come back sometime this series.
That's right.
But the thing with Malcolm is how is his
Health.
not health, but his win, his basketball win.
Okay.
His,
I feel you.
yeah.
I feel you. Yeah. I feel you. I feel you, man. Okay. Well,
his basketball legs, he might not be in game shape.
yeah. Look, man. I think when I think of Brogdon, and Virginia has actually done a really good job. They got some players over there that I kind of slept on. I slept on Brogdon, and he
I don't necessarily he slept on him. I think it's like, he's not that one and done type or two and done. You're like, you really grit and grind on NBA. I think when God comes out, he's gonna be the same type.
Kyle Guy.
Yeah.
What do you think of Hunter? I think for real, no.
He's going top 5 though.
But you wouldn't. So you're telling me that you would not take him. If you were a team, you would not take him.
I would take him.
You would take
top
him.
5 team, yeah.
You would.
It depends on who number one. I'm not taking number one.
Right. Oh, you taking Zion? Yeah. Even though
I'm taking over Barrett.
I have this quick question to ask you. What do you think? Like a lot of people are saying, we're gonna make a small ball. We're gonna try to have Zion play a center or power forward position. I don't like that at all. Okay.
No, I'm actually a Knicks fan, so I'm rooting for Zion. I actually don't want KD and Kyrie.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting. Why not? As a Knicks fan, why wouldn't you want to have two stars? I mean, superstars on your team. They could really help the New York Knicks.
So what are we building? Short term or long term?
Well, you're trying to have some success, period. Y'all haven't had any success since, what, 77?
73.
73.
Well, championships is 70, 72, 73. But early, mellow years, they're going to the playoffs.
Right.
Then, that 1 year season with Mike Woodson.
They have like 54 wins or something like that. Yeah.
So, the reason why, I'm not saying I'd be happy if you get KD and Kyrie.
Yeah.
But I won't be mad if he didn't get neither one.
Okay, if he just had Zion. So how do you think Zion?
It's not because we need more than Zion.
No, for sure.
So I was like, my brain just rambles sometimes. I was like, we get Zion. We got 2 first-round picks from Dallas. Right?
Okay.
We take 2 first-round picks, add another one, make it 3, and get 3 first-round picks to the Phoenix Suns and get Devin Booker.
So you're saying trade 2 picks?
3 first-round picks for Devin Booker.
So wait. So hold on. So you would trade all your picks for Devin Booker?
Yeah.
So you would let go of Zion?
No.
So you would have trade 2 picks?
No. Listen. Draft Zion.
Yeah.
Okay. He's a staple.
He's a staple. Okay.
Then we take the 2 picks we got from Porzingis, add another one to it with one of our future.
So who would you trade? Would you trade like a Dennis Smith Jr. for it?
I would keep Dennis.
Okay.
I would keep Dennis because I think Phoenix is going to draft Ja Morant. So, but Devin is going to be a hot commodity. Like, get him in New York. We build a young team, and I'm thinking 10 years and not 5 years.
What if the Knicks draft Ja Morant? Would you be, as a Knicks fan, how would you react to that?
I'd be happy with it.
Okay.
But we will have to move Dennis Smith.
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe, I think, Dennis can score, though.
He could be a 2-guard, but he's kind of small for a 2-guard.
6'3".
He's 6'3". Dwayne Wade was about that size, though.
Yeah, but I think in that case, he would have to be really work hard on the defensive side. Because a lot of guys are trying to post him up. Like, the thing with D Wade is he was big.
Right.
Like, I'm stout. Because I'm short, you ain't going to just bullet me.
Right, exactly. He was one of the stronger. Matter of fact, by the time he retires, he'll be the all-time leading blocker for shooting guards.
Yeah.
So, and shout out to D Wade.
Yeah.
D Wade's the 4th greatest shooting guard of all time? 4th greatest shooting guard of all time.
What, we going to put him on AI?
So what I have, of course, Mike, then you get Kobe. And then, you know what? I'm actually going 3rd. Dwayne Wade's the 3rd greatest shooting guard of all time. Then I'm going James Harden. I put
What?
I do. I put AI as a point guard. I don't put him as a shooting guard. I don't. I put AI. Yeah, but I put AI because like for me, I see AI as that guy who was leading the team. Now, of course, his success came out when he was especially like the major success that he faced was when he was a 2 guard. But for me, I look at Allen Iverson more as a point guard. Okay. You know what I mean? So
D-Wade is third grade shooting guard.
Third grade shooting guard. I say Harden only because, hey man, ain't nobody's doing what Harden has done as a shooting guard, man. He's doing stuff that we've never seen before. You know what I mean? Especially people our age. I mean, Wilt Chamberlain did it, but man, that was before television even existed. I mean, just joking. But anyway, it's like, you can't watch any. You can watch some highlights of Wilt Chamberlain, right. But it's like when you watch Harden, of course, at times you're like, man, he's taking a million shots. Sometimes his shooting percentage can waver. But, man, you're seeing something special when you see Harden. So that's why I have him at 4th, honestly.
I'm not ready to rate James yet, so.
For real?
I'm not ready yet.
So who would you say like a Reggie Miller? Like, I don't know who else could rank. Because the shooting guard position isn't as stout as other positions in basketball.
So
it's the least.
Same three.
Yeah.
Same top three.
Exactly.
Ray Allen.
Over Harden? I don't know, man. No.
Man, Jesus Shuttlesworth is that dude.
He Got Game was a great movie. But I don't know if that deserves to be over Harden.
But I don't know if James deserves to be in a top 5 shooting guard yet, though.
I mean, look, stat-wise, he's going to kill all the stats.
Ain't about stats, though.
It's about what you see on the court. And look, Ray Allen was an incredible shooter. But I just feel like James Harden, his game just translates.
Clyde.
No, definitely Harden's
George
better.
Gervin.
George Gervin, I consider him more of a small forward than a shooting guard.
Who else was the two?
It's the weakest. The shooting guard is the weakest.
Dumars.
No, James Harden is way better than Joe Dumars. No disrespect, but James Harden is better, bro. It's the weakest. It's the weakest position in basketball. It's the weakest position in basketball. You can name Hall of Famers after Hall of Famers in point guard, small forward, power forward, and center positions. The shooting guard is the weakest position in basketball. I'm telling you, it's the weakest position. You can name Hall of Famers at the Hall of Famers.
I don't want to say it's the weakest position.
It is.
Maybe you word
it
that
really
a little
is,
bit
bro.
wrong. It's the hardest position to debate in because
there's very few of them that are great.
Okay, it's not the weakest position, but it's the hardest position to evaluate because it's a standard at the 2-guard position.
Okay, that's interesting.
The standard is Mike.
I just look at the Hall of Famers that are a part of it. I look at the Hall of Fame. What I do, I don't look at the standard and all that stuff. What I say is, okay, when I look at the Hall of Famers from the power forward position, I think of Tim Duncan. I think of Kevin McHale. I think of Kevin Garnett. Okay, I think of so many different great power forwards. When I think of centers, Wilt Chamberlain, Bill Russell, George Mikan, the list goes on and on and on. Small forwards, LeBron James, Larry Bird. We got so many other great small forwards, point guards. The list goes on. Shooting guards, after like 3 or 4 of them. I mean, after the fourth, it's like, what else is next? Reggie Miller? Like, no. That's how I look at it.
If you're gonna King James, got to put Clay there.
Clay?
Yeah.
See, and that's what I mean. If we're gonna put in Klay Thompson, Clay's great. Clay is a Hall of Famer. But if we're gonna put Klay Thompson in, that just tells you about the position itself and shooting guard. So I think, and no disrespect, because look, they ballers. They can kill anybody. They can kill anyone on the street. What I say when I measure from Hall of Famers, to me, the shooting guard position is the one that's got the least amount of great players out of it when it comes to Hall of Famers, from my perspective. You feel me?
Okay.
But the next topic, man, I want to talk about for this podcast is, what do you think of Marshawn Lynch retiring, man?
It's overdue. I think he took that year off after he left the Seahawks because of them not wanting him to be the MVP of the Super Bowl. Them not wanting 2 Super Bowl rings.
They would have won. They would have probably won more than 2 even.
Nah, they definitely would be the Patriots because Patriots can stop Marshawn down the stretch of that game.
No.
Because 5 yards a clip, like, beast mode, and he was rumbling.
That's right.
He came back for Oakland. It's for the city.
Right.
For his hometown. He did a lot for that community. I'm happy to see him retire
as a Raider.
As a Raider, I mean, he's forever gonna be a Seahawk though.
You know how I see Marshawn as a Hall of Famer. You know, a lot of people are gonna look back and they say,
He's not
"Well,
gonna be the first ballot though."
I agree
because he only got like 10,000 rushing yards.
He's got 10,000 rushing yards. He's only got 84 touchdowns. But here's the way I look at it, right? Okay. So
his impact on the game was
his impact on the game. He would have won 2 championships if Seattle hadn't have thrown the football.
One of Russell MVP.
And 2 running backs, in my opinion, are in the Hall of Fame, and they only had 3 or 4 great years. Matter of fact, you probably named
Earl Campbell.
Earl Campbell. You could talk about Terrell Davis for the Denver Broncos, and we go back all the way back in the history.
I think Gale Sayers had like 7 seasons.
Gale Sayers had 67 touchdowns and knee injury. You feel me?
Yeah, Marshawn is going to get in the Hall of Fame.
He better.
But it's all about how the public or those writers going.
I agree with that
because the way if they did T.O. like that.
But there's a difference though. They won't. I'll tell you. There's a difference. There's a difference between. I'll tell you why. Because as much as the media, it's almost kind of like Muhammad Ali, because it's like during the time, there were definitely people who didn't like what Marshawn was doing.
Right.
But there were so many people that did like what Marshawn was doing because he made it fun. Mm-hmm. He did the Skittles commercial. And then you could start to see what Marshawn was about, and people got to see his fun side. And he wasn't a locker room cancer.
Wasn't he? He actually made Marshawn was that
a leader.
Middle ground for offense and defense. Like, yeah, when Beast Mode started rolling, the defense started hitting.
Exactly.
The defense started hitting, Beast Mode got hyped. Beast Mode was actually just a defensive player playing running back.
Exactly. You know what I mean?
I'm going to hit. I'm out to hit.
Exactly. And no disrespect, because, like, for me, this is my opinion. It's not anyone else's opinion. Terrell Owens is the second or third. He's the third greatest wide receiver of all time.
Who's two?
It's Jerry Rice, obviously number 1. It's really close with me. I only say Randy Moss second because I feel like
you got a verb name out of him.
You know what I'm saying? You just gotta put respect to Randy Moss's name. But for me, T.O., he's the third greatest. He should, no matter what any of his teammates said about him, he should have been in the Hall of Fame. No matter what anybody said.
I think just the sports writers like.
It's not well as his team too. A lot of his teammates didn't like him. They have a list. You know what I'm saying? It's like Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown is gonna be a guy, and
Hall of Famer.
He's a Hall of Famer. But he's said a lot of things, and he's done a lot of things to bully people. Man, he was bullying people, dog.
He didn't say nothing that nobody didn't already know.
He was bullying. He bullied that kid. He bullied Juju. He bullied Juju.
Ben think he an owner.
Okay, I'm not talking about Ben. I'm talking about what he did to.
I did. Juju wanted my help. Yeah, and I think it's
That's a bully move, bro.
I don't think it's a bully move. I think
why not?
It's really cool. It's competition. Like
you're gonna try to expose somebody to make them feel less than. That's what he was trying to do. He was like, "Hey, look,
you asked for my help.
You asked for my help."
It's not about exposing him. It's like
he was trying to expose him.
It's like you asked for my help. Don't sit here and tell me that I'm the one that's doing it when you've been.
He didn't say that. He did not say that. All he did out in the pub. Now he did have that one picture where he caught the ball.
I'm ready.
And he had that one. But that's not like words.
That was trolling.
That wasn't. But when it comes, okay, go ahead.
I was trolling because AB was in the picture when he said I'm ready.
I get it.
Get mad when AB returned fire.
I get it. But here's the thing.
My fire hit your heart.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. The difference, though, is the fact that Juju, his words, he always talked about his respect for Antonio Brown when he was a teammate. When he was a teammate of his, and after he was a teammate, he congratulated him when he had left the Raiders, and he was genuinely happy with him. All he did was give praise to Antonio Brown. He probably and to Juju's credit, he probably was a fan of AB. That's why he did message him, and he probably did look up to him. And for Antonio Brown to just say, "Well, I'm just," and out of the blue, it will be different if Juju had posted that tweet and then AB responded right then. But he didn't do that. He waited weeks after that. It wasn't like it just happened. He just did it out of the blue, just to start, because it wasn't even that message. He had brought it up. A fan had.
You can't get mad, or you can't feel the type of way when you say something.
He didn't say nothing.
Listen, he posted that picture, right? If he might have posted that picture, you can't be mad if you don't respond right away. When he felt need to respond, he gonna respond. It could be a month, it could be an hour from now. People can't get mad at that. Who had a better season?
Oh, well, okay. Here's my thing. It depends on the quarterback. Okay, you know what? This is what I think. I think that they'll have similar type seasons. Only because I think that Big Ben has something to prove. Do I think that Big Ben is the best leader? No, of course I don't. Do I think that the Pittsburgh Steelers culture, they have issues with culture, especially when it comes to African Americans? I think they got an issue with that, and I think that needs to be straight. I'm just saying they got an issue with it.
What is the issue?
I'm just saying they got an issue with it. I think there's an issue, bro. I ain't trying to say something. I'm saying they've got an issue. I think that they have an issue with culture over there at the Steelers. When that general manager said we have 52 kids,
but
and we have,
I don't think
you know what I'm saying?
It's an issue. Like, it's not all black people that play for the Steelers.
That's very true.
So
that's very true.
Just like with AB said, like, I'm a grown man. Like, yo, I'm not gonna tell you how. You're not gonna tell me how to do what I want to do. You can discuss it when you can come to common ground. But I'm a grown man. What do I want to do?
Yeah, you're right, man. But I think AB handled it wrong. You know what I mean?
And plus, AB wanted to get out because it was about money.
I agree, and he got his money.
He got his money. He really, $30
million.
$30 million. He wasn't getting paid in Pittsburgh.
No, he wasn't. Not
All
the guaranteed money was gone
so,
after 2 years.
Yeah, so it's like, yo, he basically, it could have been any day of the week.
That's true.
Money. So I think he forced his way out to get some more money.
I mean, I guess I look at it and I say, well, you know what, AB, he's gonna be a Hall of Famer. But if I would put him in if I was a Hall of Famer. But it's not like, but for me, if I were to write about Antonio Brown, I would write about his numbers. I would write about what he did on the field.
Definitely write about AB numbers. I
don't know if yeah, you gotta stay legit. You gotta, as a writer, you cannot just say, you know, oh, because he was a terrible person or because he treated people wrong. That means, because man, there's there's so many people who said so many things about him that I feel like that there will be some skewage coming his way, and they'll say, well, and if he injures himself and he retires and he doesn't get anything, they say, well, he only had 67 touchdowns or whatever, but he definitely deserves to be in the Hall of Fame if he were retired today, only because what he did in the past 5 seasons, no other NFL player has ever done.
6 straight 100-yard catches, 1,200 yards.
Exactly, and so you got to put him in. I actually think that T.O. was a better guy than Antonio Brown. I think T.O. was a good guy. I just feel like there might have been some issues there. Matter of fact,
people were robbing T.O.
Yeah.
So I think he was dealing with that and just lashed out the wrong way.
Yeah, and I tell you what, as much, this might be my bias, but I actually think as good as Antonio Brown is, I think Chad Ochocinco, if he was playing in the same era that AB was, he'd have similar numbers. He'd have similar numbers. I do. That's just my opinion. Just my opinion. You know what I'm saying? No disrespect. No disrespect. He was look. He was.
Both Miami guys. So,
he was solid. But moving past. Well, actually, we're talking about Oakland since Antonio Brown. What do you think of the Oakland Raiders firing or removing all of their scout team just for Mike Mayock and John Gruden to select the whole draft process?
I think they want to go down. If they go down, let's go down there making decisions, which is cool. If I want to fly the plane, if I want to crash it, let me crash my own plane. I think that's how they're looking at it, how I look at it.
That's interesting.
They want to fly this plane with no pilot. I get off. If y'all crash, it's on y'all.
Oh, man. I look at it as... and
I also look at it as Mike Mayock.
He's smart, man.
He's smart. He's probably like, yo, I got to get rid of some people so I can bring my guys in.
Exactly.
So I think this is more issue like, yo, finding a way to... You can't really fire people just because.
Yeah.
So it's got to be like, you got to do something. Oh, you did this wrong, you're fired.
Yeah. I think, well, the way I look at it is, and there was some reports on this. The whole thing about removing scout teams isn't unheard of. A lot of people did that. As a matter of fact, Gil Brandt, he used to be the vice president of scouting for the Cowboys from like 1960 to 89. He talked about how he basically tested out which scout people would actually report their draft analysis to the media. So they put out and told their scout members that they were going to draft this defensive end, and then the next day there was some news saying the Cowboys were going to draft some players. I mean, go ahead.
No, yeah, I understand that, but them sending the scouts home isn't a big deal, though.
No, it's
because it's always putting them. I get them on Skype. Go back to Oakland to do more work on certain players.
Yeah.
They might have been in Nashville. If they're not in Nashville, or they might have been in Oakland, where they at, you go do more work, and I'll call you when I need that work done. So they could be on just other detailed duties.
Yeah, I think the way it's going to work out is I think Oakland's just going to get rid of him, and I feel like that Oakland.
Yeah, I can see that too. Though.
And I think what's going to happen is, why would you let your scout team know what you're going to draft if they know they're going to be fired? Why would they keep it a secret? They say, bunk it. We going to tell you going to fire us? We're going to tell everything. And what that does when you reveal what you're doing, that takes away from, quote unquote, other teams trying to make deals with you.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I mean, yeah, no. But they can say who you want to draft, but it comes down to if that player gets to them or not. So they might want to draft him at 4, but he might not be there at 4. So it's like, okay, on to the next.
Yeah.
The draft. The draft is tomorrow. It's going. I watch the draft. I watch all 7 rounds.
Passionate, man.
Yeah, like I used to. I think I did that when Matt Stafford went there once. 09. I wrote down every name in my book. First round, like, y'all. I just watching now because too much technology. I be on my phone now. I don't write no more.
I feel it.
But yeah, the draft is gonna start at 1. Depends on what Arizona do. They giving all the smoke screens out right now.
Yeah.
Whether or not they're gonna take Kyler, they could just be doing that to build Josh Rosen trade value up.
Very true.
So. Giants and Dwayne Haskins.
I don't know if they've been. When I think of that, what do you think? Like, I'm not sure the Giants are in love with Dwayne Haskins.
I'm not sure I think they are in love with him.
Okay.
But they want to pick him at 17.
Why not 6?
Because it's going to be a blue chip defensive player at 6.
Who would you pick? Like Quinnen?
If he's there, yeah.
Because he might go like 2 or 3.
2 and 1.
Wait, so you're saying that wait. You're saying that they would? Are you saying that the Cardinals would draft? Because the way that the evaluators are saying is they would pick Nick Bosa over Quinnen Williams. You're saying that they would
pick Quinnen. I would. If Kyler's not going number 1, my pick would be Quinnen Williams.
Interesting. Okay.
Because you got Chandler Jones there.
Very true.
He still got juice in his legs.
For sure.
You got Sizzle there. He got a little bit. A
little bit, but he's great. Hall of Famer.
Right. So, and the best way to get to a quarterback is up the middle.
Very true.
And Quinnen can collapse that middle. That erase pressure from Terrell Suggs. He's at his age. He can get there one-on-one blocks. Chandler Jones can get there one-on-one blocks. Because you got Robert Condici. You know he's been a bust, but. But Quinn is going to do the double team. And if you can't beat the one-on-one blocks, what are you defense tackle for? So, I do. If not Kyler, I think it's going to be Quinn.
When I think about the Cardinals, and it's going to be interesting how they play this because, they could either go all in for Kyler Murray or they go all in for Josh Rosen. Or they could do a crazy thing where they just draft Kyler Murray and keep Josh Rosen and have like this mega storyline where it's like who's going to win the quarterback position, Kyler and Rosen, and whoever has the better training cap, they're going to be the first one traded. It could go any type of way. But the way that I see it is if the Cardinals take Kyler Murray, some people could say, well, they fired Steve Wilkes, and they hired a guy who didn't even have a 500 record at Texas Tech. And then they went and they got rid of their starting quarterback after a year to another quarterback. So that's, to a lot of teams, that's an embarrassment to the general manager. So the general...
It's not an embarrassment. It just put that general manager on a hot seat.
Exactly.
Like, yo, you'll see hot now.
Exactly.
Like, yeah, you try to... I think everybody's want this Sean McVay. They want Sean McVay type of vibe.
Right.
You know, the next Sean McVay. But it's only one Sean McVay.
Exactly. You know what I mean? Like, there's only one Bill Belichick.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I guess when I look at it, you could say, well, why would I go all in with Kyler Murray if we've only given Josh Rosen 1 year? Because when you look at it, before the Russell Wilsons, before the Robert Griffin III, because people forget, RG3 had a great rookie season. There was a time...
He got hurt, though.
Yeah, he did get hurt.
He did... The Redskins didn't do him right, and he didn't do right by himself.
Yeah.
Like, he should have been like, yo, he already had an ACL injury.
Yeah.
He should, okay, let me just get healthy. And it wasn't an ACL injury. It was just a really bad strain.
Yeah.
And then when Lodi hit him, it looked like when Lodi not hit him in that Baltimore game, like he broke his leg.
Yeah.
And then, in that playoff game against Seattle, he couldn't move.
I agree. But I guess when I look at it, I say quarterbacks used to have like a 3-year window. Like Peyton Manning. Do you know Peyton Manning's first year, he was 3-13 as a quarterback? Mm-hmm. I mean, the way that we judge quarterbacks now, it's almost like they're playing another position. I was just talking with Ryan McManus, the quarterback's coach at Winston State. He was talking about, hey, look, the quarterback, when they win, they get too much credit, and when they lose, they get too much blame. You know what I mean?
They're leaders, so they get when you're the leader, you're gonna take all the blame for anybody. Even though you could be playing the game, I'm gonna take that because I know how to handle the pressure.
Exactly.
This person might not know how to handle it, so I'm gonna take that on the chin.
Exactly, and so I guess I look at it, I'm like, you need to give, in some aspects, you need to give Josh Rosen some credit in some respect and say, hey, it was his first year. Why not wait for this guy? The Cardinals could play it that way. Or since they hired a guy who said he loves Kyler Murray, who's really built, quote unquote, for his system, would that work?
But Josh Rosen built for his system too.
You know what I mean? But
Davis Webb at Texas Tech, he's not a mobile guy.
No, he wasn't. So
if he
can go either or.
He can go either or. It depends on the flavor of the month. And but I think it's a sportsman that can trade bad. I think they won't collect picks.
So you're saying, so if you were the Cardinals, what would you do? Would you trade Kyler Murray, or would you?
If I'm the Cardinals,
I mean, trade that number 1 pick, or would you just trade?
I'll trade number 1 pick if I got an offer that I couldn't refuse.
So let's say,
if Oakland called like, yo, I got the 4th pick, the 24th pick, the 27th.
Okay, it's a wrap. It's a wrap.
The 4th pick, the 24th pick, and the 2nd round. And I'll ask for the 3rd round too. I'm like, yo, you want it? That's what I want.
You know, Gruden could do that because Gruden's an interesting dude because I think Gruden is a guy who's a gambler. He takes chances.
I don't think he takes chances, but also I would tell people this, like, Oakland is moving to Vegas. They have to sell tickets. They have to get people to come to the game. Football is like basketball. It's about star power.
Very true.
Like, the quarterback has to be a star.
Well, I don't know. The NFL doesn't have to have as much star power as NBA. Because the NFL can move. You know what I'm saying?
So NFL can move around. So NFL move around. You see faces.
That's right. And they move faster. 3 years, average player for their career.
With the NFL, the quarterback is the star.
Very true.
Because they want deep passes.
Very true.
And big hits. If you can do a deep pass to Antonio Brown.
Yeah.
And your quarterback can get swaggy, in AB's words, it can work. I'm telling you.
Do you feel like Kyler's got more swag than Derek Carr?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I think Kyler's got that swag. I just wonder.
They lead different.
They do leave different. I just wonder how, because John Gruden's that real tough on you type coach, and can Kyler handle that kind of tough?
Why don't he can't handle it? Because he never experienced it.
What, when you never experience something for the first time, you can of course adjust, but when you look at John Gruden's success, he's always done well with quarterbacks who fire back at him. You know what I mean?
Actually, no, he has
Brad Johnson and look, when they were winning. Derrick Hall, they weren't winning in Oakland,
right,
so we can't really say.
So, but Brad Johnson was a veteran in the league though, so he had like, yo, I don't care about this, I'm gonna win.
Right. So, Derek Carr isn't in the same boat because he wasn't winning.
Right.
And because they traded away their best player. I mean, so it's a totally different situation.
Totally different vibe. So
you know what I mean?
If he could.
That's the only thing I wonder.
I think they're gonna stay back and take Kyler. I think Nick
I hope the Cardinals pick Kyler. Because I think it works well. I think Cliff Kingsbury and Kyler Murray are a match made in heaven. I just feel like the storyline would work better with the Cardinals general manager if they were to stick with Josh Rosen, only because they made move after move so quick.
Right.
And it's like, man, so the hiring and the firing of Steve Wilkes was a mistake. Then you get Cliff Kingsbury, who was above 500, and then you get rid of Josh Rosen. Those are already 3 to 4 different episodes of failures, and it takes a lot of humility for somebody to say, "Hey, look, I'm going to get that number 1 pick to Kyler Murray."
And you just got to give your coach the best chance to win. So so whoever can give him the best chance to win, you go with. I think Nick's going to, if Kyler goes 1. The Jets are in a weird spot to where like you can pick Quentin Williams at 3 or you can get Josh Allen. Depends on your favorite or mine.
Yeah.
So I'll go with Josh getting a pass rusher. Who's fifth?
Fifth.
Tampa Bay.
Tampa. I know. I don't think they need a quarterback. I think they need to give him 1 more year.
Yeah, they're not gonna.
I think they need to.
Todd Bowles. So they got Todd Bowles, right? He like defense.
Yeah.
So like, I can see them drafting Devin White, but also see Todd Bowles. Defense is about corners.
Yeah.
So I can see them drafting Greedy too.
Greedy Williams. I see him more at. So I feel you. It's gonna be interesting.
6. See, if Quentin Williams is at 6 or for the Giants, you're
gonna take him over Haskins.
Right. Let me tell you why. You take him over Haskins, right? Then you work the phone.
Haskins is gonna fall.
It's gonna fall. You work the phone. You're like, yo, I call you. 17, not far. You
right.
can get back in the top 10.
You gotta be tricky about that though.
So you can get back in the top 10. So you call them like, yo, Quentin Williams. So call Denver like, yo, offer 17, my 2nd round, 3rd round. Hop back in 10 spot and get your quarterback.
Yeah.
So that's how I would do
it. It's definitely gonna be interesting. So but hey, this is another episode of Let's Talk Sports with not Let's Talk Sports. SportsTrap. My bad. SportsTrap. This is another episode of SportsTrap. And y'all have a good one.
All right.